Video Notes, Lesson 2.6, Dividing Decimals by Whole Numbers. Number 1. What is the learning target for this video lesson? The learning target is to divide decimals by whole numbers. Now, your key idea is right here for the lesson, in that we're going to want to place the decimal point in the quotient, which is your top number, above the decimal point in the dividend, which is your bottom number. So, dividend is on bottom, and quotient is on top. And that is very important to remember. And then you divide as you would with whole numbers. And you continue until there is no remainder. Now you're going to want to make sure that you write this whole statement on your video notes, which is on the next slide. So our key idea that we just went over is that you put the decimal in the quotient, in the Q, right above the decimal in the dividend. Now, your writing should be much neater than mine, and this shouldn't be a problem. Now, let's take a look at the first example. 7.6 divided by 4. So, 7.6 divided by 4. Well, make sure we put our decimal right there. 4 goes into 7 one time. 4. You subtract, you get 3, because 7 minus 4 is 3. You have your remainder, so you can bring your 6 down. Makes that 36. And then 4 goes into 36 9 times, because 4 times 9 is 36. And you subtract, and you get 0. So your answer is 1.9. Make sure you copy this example in your own video notes. Now if we take a look over here at 4.38 divided by 12, we'll do that one together again. 4.38 divided by 12. Now we're going to have to make sure we take our decimal from our dividend and we put it up here in our quotient. And now let's look. 12 goes into 4 0 times. 12 goes into 43 3 times. So we put our 3 up there. We have our 36. 43 minus 36 is 7, because we can borrow there. 13 minus 6 is 7. That became a 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. 12 does not go into 7, so we got to bring down that 8. Make this 78. And then we take 78 and we divide that by 12. Great opportunity to use your multiplication chart. 12 goes into 78 6 times. 78 minus 72. 8 minus 2 is 6. 7 minus 7 is 0. Now this, we know that when we have a decimal, there are zeros and zeros and zeros going on and on and on. So this is where we would bring down our next 0 and make that 60. And 12 goes into 60 5 times. Make that 60, because 12 times 5 is 60. 60 minus 60 is 0. And that is an example right there. And this should also be copied in your video notes. Let's do another example. 14.4 divided by 2. So, take our 14.4 divided by 2. Well, first thing first, we take our decimal from our dividend, put it up here for our quotient. 2 goes into 14 7 times. 7 times 2 is 14. We subtract, and we get 0. Bring down your 4. You know that 2 times something equals 4. Oh, 2 times 2 equals 4. So, there's our 2. We know 2 times 2 equals 4. We can subtract that again. We have 0. And there is your answer. 7.2 is your quotient when you divide 14.4 by 2. Make sure you copy this down so you have examples to look back in your video notes. Let's do another one. 16.8 divided by 8. Here we go. 16.8 divided by 8. Okay. First thing we do, we bring our decimal up from our dividend to our quotient, and then we take a look at 8. 8 goes into 16 2 times. So put our 2 there. 8 times 2 is 16. Subtract. 16 minus 16 is 0. Bring down your 8. We have 8 here. 8 goes into 8 one time because we know 8 times 1 is 8. Subtract those and we get 0. So your answer is going to be 2.1. Once again, make sure you are writing this in your video notes. And now, you should just have 2 problems for you to do on your own. And when you're done, please hand these in.